Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
We had talked about a sill extension.
Yeah, check it out. So I am still going to get this L. Let me think here. I'm trying to figure out where you replied to me. And I kind of chuckled when you replied to me because it was either you were busting my chops in a very polite way, or I don't know. So in one email, I said I wanted to use an L angle because it's such a goofy spot, and I don't know what the hell to do. And I thought about literally anchoring it with whatever we could, put a raglan in the brick. I have no clue. And then your reply was very elegant. How do you plan to anchor it with just sealant? So tell me, Richard, are you busting my chops here, or is this a terrible, terrible thing to do?
Oh no, the latter. I mean, definitely not. It's very elegant. The thing is, how are you going to make it stay in place?
I have no clue, and I think it is just going to be with some sort of brutal sealant. It's a small piece, and I'm hoping I can get it back in that little raglet, if you will, or whatever's in the sill, hammer it in there best I can, and seal it up with the cleanest speed I can. This is not our project. It's a project we're trying to clean up for someone else.
Yeah, so, I hear you. I just, I see this being, I see it being a long-term maintenance problem. I don't see how it's going to stay in place. But if you've got a plan, then there we go.
How much is that, L?
Right, exactly.
But how much is that L piece? Like 20, 30 bucks maybe?
I don't know that I have an L shape like that.
I thought you had it on your I thought I found it on your website.
Yeah, you may have. I don't, without, there's going to be parts that you'd be able to rip on a table saw to come up with that, but I don't have any just, extruded aluminum shapes.
No. The piece that I found from Pemco was I think it was for a concrete step. I think that's what they were. Still nosing for a concrete step. Yes.
Yeah, that stuff's really thin gauge. I mean, hyper thin. 25 thousandths thin.
So what's that equate to in gauge? Like 019, 024, 032?
Gauge? In gauge, it would probably be 30 gauge, if not thinner. I'd have to look it up. It's incredibly thin.
Yeah, Christ. I don't know what to do. And then you had sent me two things. Is there anything like that, the 30 gauge? Is there anything like that you would have thicker? Because I want to get multiple things from you, so when I go out there, we're like, all right, that's clearly a fail. Let's move on to Plan B.
Yeah, I mean, not without ripping something on a table saw. We'd have to look at, just shapes that we have and, some sort of threshold that would be thick enough, like 100 thousandths thick, that you'd be able to, take some foot traffic. Actually, Reese has one that I don't think it's the right size. I didn't look for any L angle shapes. Reese does have one that's half-inch overall by 1 inch overall. And that material is 125 thousandths thick, so it's really thick.
Am I thinking it's like an 1/8 inch?
It's exactly an 1/8 inch.
Yeah. So I wonder if I can rip it. So we intend to rip it down, and it should be a damn nightmare. So maybe something like that in 72 inch. And then you sent me something from Reese. It's a Reese it's S283A. A mill aluminum. How far does that thing stick out?
The 283A that's 3 inch overall width, and I don't know how much room you've got in front of your threshold.
I think it would look disgusting if 3 inches hung out. So maybe we could rip it down and just use even if we rip it down, like I said, for that to fit in that little 16th-inch raglet there, because I'm going to have to cut off the back or do something.
Yeah, they also, there's one, there's that same profile that's 2-inch wide and another one that's 2 7/16. That attachment that's there on that same page shows another item that might be ideal for you, the S564.
Well, I'm actually on a link that you had sent to me. So what is it, the S264?
There is an S564 that might work out really well.
Okay, so let me punch that in. Reese, 24-inch half saddle. That's referring to the length, right? There's a 72-inch middle aluminum. How high does that thing stick out?
Are you in the website right now?
Yeah, I just switched to the website. So Reese S564A.
Yeah, so in that search box, type in only S564A, and then hit enter or click go.
Yeah, that's what I was on. Yep. I'm here now.
So that might be something.
So it's 1 3/4, and then how high does that stand up? Oh, 1/2 inch rise. I don't remember from what pictures I sent you or what we were looking at, or I think we have about 1/2 inch, don't we? Do you have my email?
I am looking at it. It appears as if you're showing a 1/4 inch. No, I think you're showing 11/16 overall height.
But then to the middle of that raglet, or whatever you want to call it, that groove, is that 11/16 to the groove?
It appears from your sketch that it's the overall height. There's another dimension of 1/4 inch, but I'm not sure if that's the underside of the threshold to your curve.
I don't know. I would say, yeah, I'll take one of those in 72-inch length. We'll give that a whirl. Is there a spot to put screws in the top of that?
Yes, I mean, we want to tell them that you intend to, that you either want them to countersink some holes or that you don't. You'll have to strategically determine where you want those. They'll put them in the standard location, which will be between the leading edge and the web, that small plateau, not on the back end. But if you want a strategic, I would think that's where you would want them, if anywhere.
Probably towards the angle.
Yes, right, towards the leading edge. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then while we're looking here, let me go back to your email. You had sent me another one to look at. I think it was a Pemco. Here we go. I'm looking for the link. Yeah, one is a Pemco EXT2A, but I think that's going to be rather large, and it has that. I mean, it would be awesome if it just had that hook on. We could hook it and be done, but it's certainly not that easy.
No, nor do I believe it's compatible.
No.
I mean,
is there anything else? Go ahead.
You could possibly take that extension and then rip it and screw it down, but again, that's really thin gauge material.
Okay, so all the Pemcos. I'm just looking at the link you had sent me. Is there anything else, Richard, do you think that may be a good fit?
You've got a residential threshold. You want to add some sort of an elegant transition in the front of it. It's all variations of a theme at this point. Something's going to have to be added to it. It's going to take foot traffic. It should be heavier than lighter, and it should be mechanically fastened with machine screws and lead anchors once it's put down. The issue is I don't think you're going to fit that back end into the face of your threshold.
Unless I rip it down on I have a non-ferrous metal blade, and unless we rip it down on the table saw for whatever that goes back in, and just rip it to the thickness that would fit in from the backside, so that leg would just slip in, and then I could attach it with a screw in the front. That's the only thing I'm thinking of. How do you feel about that, Richard?
When you say rip down, do you mean you're going to try to increase the width of the kerf? so you can stuff
No,
the
not at all. I mean like that. The Reese 564A. I'm just saying. So if I were to lay the flat edge, the leg side out away from the fence, and make that leading, not the leading edge, but the edge that would go against my existing threshold, a little thinner to fit into the. Rabbit it down essentially, like it was a piece of wood, so it would fit in.
Yeah, pass it over a router table or something. Sure, I understand.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if the height lines up, because your center line of that from the floor is going to be at 7/16 or quite close to that.
Yeah, we may have to do a little mortar magic. I just want to make sure when I get out there, if you have something else other than this that may work, I'll take them both. When we get out there, we're going to have to do a bit of MacGyvering to make it look decent or do something. But do you have anything else you'd recommend other than this?
Not beyond this concept. You might look at the part number 473A. 473 alpha.
No. 473.
I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I'm sorry, 437A.
43. Yeah, I do that all the time.
So you might sneak that underneath the edge of your threshold.
That's a weird one, huh?
And that might be okay. I think you're gonna have to fill in at the front of your jam where it's been.
The only pisser about that is, if I remember right, the brick is kind of wonky under it, and the brick doesn't even make contact with the underneath of the sill. So if that goes underneath, would need some form of attaching it to it, and I think that could be. But it still gets a screw in the leading edge, right?
That'll have to be fastened down somehow.
Yeah, that's God. We specialize in weird, Richard. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna look up. I don't know if that'll be sill angle. Oh no. What do you call that? A sill what? What are we talking? The L. Sill nosing. That's it. Thank you. Pemco. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of flat sill nosing, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's not really that many part numbers, but there's, click on page, 18.
Page 7, 10, 13, 16, 18. There we go. Got it. I'm here. And you said this stuff is like toilet paper thin.
Well, it's awfully thin. I don't recall what the caliper says, but that's meant for looks.
Yeah, I think we need such little amount of it. I don't know what the hell to do.
Now that would be a good solution because you can achieve the height and the depth that you want. The issue is you're going to have to support it underneath, and if you can solve that, then.
I wonder if I mix up a sloppy batch of fast set mortar, tape it off, pack it underneath, and just cap it with that.
Then get some weight and keep it from moving overnight.
Dude, what a goofy project. Yeah, throw one of those in. If shit hits the fan, at least we can rig that up. That'll be fine. I'll take those two items. Thank you for your persistence. I think I ordered from you before. You're not out of New York. You don't have a branch up in New York, do you?
Not a direct location. I've got vendors in New York.
Because I ordered I used to order those Pemco automatic door bottoms. I used to think they were the cat's meow, but I haven't used them in quite a while.
Yeah, they're certainly good. They're substantially better in the game. Pemco is great. They're $500 million a year in sales.
What's better out there? Now that I'm yapping with you, what's better out there?
Well, in terms of a door bottom, Reese would certainly be better, as would a company called Legacy. They would be better.
Can you give me a part number?
Surface mount?
I usually rebate them into the bottom. I wrap them into the bottom of the door, just like the Pemco automatic bottoms. Do they have a
you
version
rabbet
like
it
that?
or do you mortise it?
I would mortise it because it would be open
Okay.
on both sides.
Right on.
It would be kind of quasi-mortise, I suppose, yeah.
So a mortise version for a wood door, a part number would be 430A.
Oh, eyes.
Then go to hold the phone. Scroll down on page 1.
Yeah, Ives makes them.
No, it's by Reese. Just scroll down.
I see it. Automatic door bottom, 44-inch, 48-inch, 42-inch, 36-inch. Here, let's just have a look at it. Ships in Minnesota. Yeah, that's it. Has like a little button on it. But
Yeah, Reese is pretty good.
They're significantly more. I think I think Pemco, I want to say they were $30-$40 a piece. These are 70, so are they much more substantial?
Oh yeah, by a factor of 2, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely what the project calls for. If you need something more, just standard duty, Pemco's great. They've got that thoroughly covered. But when you get into people that just simply want the heaviest duty, it starts at Reese and then Legacy. And I don't have the Legacy stuff in the site, but there's a catalog. Zero is another name synonymous with it.
Can you forward me, since you have my email, can you forward me a couple links to those? Because it might be a consideration here in the future. We do a lot of historic work, and we do a lot of work with doors. And if there's something better out there, does it have a firmer hold when the door shuts? Does it have a stronger spring to really conform to the threshold?
It does, but, when you're installing an automatic door bottom, you don't want pressure. You just want contact.
Yeah.
Pressure is no good because as soon as you open the door, you need that spring to become relieved and then start lifting right away. But they are more robust. Everything is significantly heavier. It's just, if you want more surface area, you go with a larger unit. And I will email you a link to a catalog for you to review.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Perfect.
Okay, so enter an order for this Reese piece and the Pemco piece.
Yeah, it's a huge order. You can probably hang it up for today after this.
Oh, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm already in the car. All kidding aside, what is Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.